On this episode, we speak to Ben Kinnaird, who shared useful tips and advice on video, how to use it, and ensure that you present with confidence.
I'm Ben Kinnaird from Rather Inventive, and we help all sorts of organisations with their marketing strategy, communications, and web development. So we help schools in many ways, but the most important one really is setting up a web presence and helping them develop the pages of content that they need on their site to explain to parents how the school works, what sort of work they're doing at the moment, maybe putting in tools in place for children to share their work online as well. We also provide advice on marketing and how best to present your school online. Something I wanted to share is how to look great on Zoom. A lot of people are using video conferencing, and there are some simple things that you can do to look your best. The most important thing you can do is to get good audio quality. Maybe you want to be in a room that doesn't have lots of echo. You want to get yourself a microphone and make sure it's close to your mouth. Speak clearly, maybe even just have no background noise. A lot of people who record video don't think about the noise that's going on in the background, whether that's other people at home or other people in the office making a lot of noise. That can be quite distracting to people often. So you want to try and get things as quiet as possible, have an external microphone if you can, and then speak into that. But there's a couple of other tips that are really important. The first one is to make sure you've got enough light coming onto your face. It's quite disconcerting to watch people online when you can't quite see their face. You can't see their expressions. We're quite social creatures and we like to see each other. We like to see each other's faces. And so if you can light your face up by making sure all the windows are open, that you're facing the window if you can, so you've got the sunlight coming onto your face. And if you can't do that, use a lamp or something like that to put the light directly on your face. It makes a huge difference in terms of how people perceive you and how well you come across. Number two, I'd also recommend using headphones. This goes with my other point about using a good mic and making sure you sound great. If you use headphones, what they'll stop doing is if you get feedback coming through from your speaker to your microphone and going around in a big loop, having headphones prevents that. Feedback or that annoying squeal that you get sometimes is really annoying for other people who are listening to you and can be quite frustrating for yourself. So make sure you use headphones to prevent echo. Also, when you're talking to the camera, it's really nice if you can actually try to look at people while you're talking to them. So talk directly to the camera, look into the camera. Don't just look at wherever the video window is on screen. Make sure that you've perhaps positioned that underneath the camera. So when it's recording, it looks like you're talking to the room. A little tip here, actually, that someone else gave me, and this helps with confidence actually, is to write down any talking points you've got. If there's key things you need to say and you don't want people to see you looking down at your notes, write them on a little sticky note and put it next to the camera. People won't see that. They won't see you glance over at the little notes, but it makes you feel more confident that you've got something there just in case your mind goes completely blank, and it makes you look clever. If you're in a conversation with other people and there's someone else talking, make sure you do mute your mic. Again, this goes back to preventing echo, but it also enables you to cough or type or carry on with work while you're listening. Again, it can be really disruptive if your mic is on and you're rattling away at the keyboard while someone else is speaking. So make sure it's muted. And just going back to what I said at the beginning, if possible, go and get a reasonably good mic and a video camera if you can, if your laptop or computer don't have that built in. You know, it's really important to try and look your best in all situations, and the same applies to using Zoom and any video conferencing really. So I got into video when we started developing a podcast. I initially started the podcast with my colleague who's a web developer, and we were just doing it as an audio only podcast. But I wanted, being a marketer, I wanted to experiment and test out video and see how well that worked on YouTube. So we started recording our screen, recording our cameras, and we've eventually moved into using actually a webinar platform to record our conversations. It's developed from there, and we actually have a marketing club where every month I present a video on a particular topic. It's a bit like a workshop really on various different marketing topics. And over the last, year and a half, it's given me lots of practice in terms of using video, testing out different ways of presenting with slides, showing my screen, whether I use a script, whether I don't, lighting, mic technique, all of those sort of things. So I spent a long a long time testing out different techniques, which have been really useful in terms of developing some of the tips I've shared. I advocate for people to use video where possible. It's a medium that we find very comfortable as humans to use, to interact with, or just to watch or listen to. But it's such a shame that people find it difficult to record themselves on video. Like with recording your voice and playing it back, no one likes to see themselves on video or hear themselves in audio. But it's something we have to get over. We have to get used to it. It's the same as when I started doing presentations in front of other people, and you're very worried that they're going to jeer at you. They're not going to like what you say. They're going to be dismissive. But actually, if they've come to hear your presentation, that should give you the confidence to carry on, as long as you know what you're talking about. And it's exactly the same with video. You don't need to worry about what you look like. You just need to make sure you look your best and you sound your best. And the only way you'll get better, just like with presenting in front of an audience, is to practice. If you want to find out more about how better to market yourself or even present better on video, I've got lots of resources on our website, ratherinventive.com. We've even got a club where you can join for free. And I've got a video podcast which goes out every 2 weeks with lots of useful information about various different subjects. So do go and check that out on ratherinventive.com.
Thanks for listening. If you need to find a trusted supplier for your school, call 01905 780 059 or visit worcestershireeducationnetwork.co.uk.